Hi, guys. Welcome to another episode of Conversations with Witness. Thank you for taking time to join me this week on our discussions. What I'm going to talk about this week is premised on something that is quite ingrained in society. We talk about it, but I've been thinking this thing is far deeper than what you would ordinarily think. I was watching a movie, and in a particular scene, the main characters are interacting. The man is obviously distressed and visibly, bothered. And the lady asks him, "You're clearly angry. Why are you still being so nice to me?" And his response was, "My being angry with you does not mean I should be rude to you." And that line, for some reason, has just stuck with me. And my question is, how many times have we acted badly or reacted rudely, responded in ways we shouldn't have, simply because we were unhappy with something somebody did, or we were hurt by the actions or perhaps even the inactions of people? The thing that it brings to mind when I think of it is who we are ultimately translates into how we interact with the world. Who we are sometimes can be shaped by, in fact, not sometimes, who we are is shaped by our experiences, the things we've gone through, our values, our belief systems, the things and events we've allowed to shape us and our worldview, ultimately form who we are and our responses to people and to the world when situations arise. What it brings me to is the fact that pain is not an excuse for bad behavior or wickedness. The fact that you're hurt by something somebody did does not give you the license to hurt other people or subconsciously begin to inflict pain on others based on that experience, or perhaps even accumulation of bad or negative experiences. Maybe you had childhood trauma, you've been through several unsuccessful bad relationships, whether it's with the opposite sex, whether it's with friends or even family. Certain experiences that are unpleasant, which you have gone through, have shaped your worldview in such a way that you have become a menace without knowing. The fact that we are in pain, the fact that we are angry at somebody or hurt by people, doesn't mean we should respond with or in our pain, anger, or from that place of hurt, because more often than not, the response will be negative. More often than not, the response will create a ripple effect of hurt people hurting other people. And if care is not taken, if somebody doesn't take the stance to break that cycle and say, you know what, even though I have been hurt, even though I've had unpleasant experiences, I'm not going to let those unpleasant experiences mark and shape me in such a way that my reactions or response when negative things happen or when unpleasant things happen will be, to hurt other people, even unconsciously, because we feel justified when we act out of that pain. We feel like, of course, we are entitled to act that way or entitled to respond that way simply because we are hurt. But it's wrong. It's as plain and as simple as that. It is wrong. You can choose to respond differently. You can choose to be a better person and not let everything trigger you into responding negatively. Don't let bitter and unpleasant situations become the foundation on which you interact with other people. The downside of this thing is that, and I think I've touched on one of them already. One, it creates a ripple effect of hurt people hurting other people. It reflects badly on you. Sometimes the only reason why people know you or have tagged you as a rude and unpleasant person is simply because you are reacting from your unpleasant experiences. You are allowing those past experiences to dictate how you move forward. You are punishing people who are innocent because of the mistakes others made. You know that the person in front of you, sometimes what they've even said is not something that should cause you to go off or be rude to them. But you are so triggered that inevitably that's your response. It's reflecting badly on you. And that negative notion people have on you can easily become a marker that, oh, this person has anger issues. And when they are angry, please do not get in their way. Why? Because they know the things you're going to say and do are vile. But it's not supposed to be so. You can choose to act differently. You can choose peace over chaos. You can choose to do the work that makes you a more mature person. There's something the Bible says about out of the recesses of the heart a man lives. From the good recesses in his heart, he does good. And from the bad, he does bad. Practically, what he means is that when we go through life's experiences, we can allow them to get into our hearts and shape and condition our hearts in certain ways, such that our opinions become distorted. So, for instance, if you've been through a series of unpleasant relationships as a lady, perhaps the men you have been with in the past have not been the best. You start to believe that men are scum. You start to believe that none of these people are even truthful or honest or loyal. They are all liars. That is you allowing the experiences of your past to condition your heart, form an opinion, and create a worldview. Is it necessarily true? No, it is simply born out of your personal experiences. What you can do is say, even though I have gone through these negative experiences in relationships, I still believe that not all men are like the men I've dealt with in the past. Why? There is evidence in your life, people you see, whether it's in close proximity, in distant communities, or even on social media, that you encounter people who are actually loyal, who are true, who are honest, and are not playing around or performing for others' applause. It is you saying, yes, I have been through a bad experience or a series of bad experiences, but I'm not going to project that on other people. That is something we need to learn to do, not allowing bad experiences to shape our worldviews. If something is ingrained in you, automatically, when situations arise, that thing that is there is what is going to speak. Sometimes when people speak or respond in certain ways, it isn't really they that are speaking. It is the trauma that is speaking. It is the bad experiences they've been through that is speaking. And ultimately, if care is not taken, if it's not checked, if we take it as this is the reality of life, things will never change. You will keep hurting and you keep hurting other people. At the end of the day, you would not only have disrupted your life, but you would have disrupted the lives of others too. You would not only have prevented yourself from enjoying and coming into a better life, and you'll be projecting it on people around you and people who encounter you. So I say again, pain is not an excuse for wickedness or bad behavior. Yes, you've been through a lot. Life has dealt with you, but it's not an excuse, or it doesn't give you the license to act badly or behave inappropriately. Check yourself. When you begin to react disproportionately to certain things, when you act out of anger and choose to move from a place of pain or act from a place of pain, ask yourself, why am I doing this thing? Is this truly me? Is this what I hold and believe? Is this part of my value system? Is this how I am choosing to live? Or am I simply reacting from a place of pain and the hurt that I have been through that have gone unchecked. I've got a couple of recommendations for you. There's always a chance and the opportunity to do better. My first recommendation will be get help. If you need to see a therapist, please, by all means, book that session and speak to a professional who can help you walk through what you have gone through and why you are reacting in the ways you're reacting. Therapy is an eye-opener in many ways. And I think the sooner we get around to doing it, the better for us. If you are uncomfortable with engaging with someone who is a stranger, I know some people have that tendency. You could also speak to a trusted friend who will be honest with you and help you see exactly what the situation is and hopefully provide you with some guidance on how you can work it out. Sometimes I feel like we don't necessarily have to go to therapy for everything. Sometimes just sitting down with a mature mind who really understands what you have gone through or what you are going through can help. Just telling them what's happening inside and the insights they give you on how you can navigate is helpful. So by all means, if you need therapy, go for it. If you feel therapy is a bit of a stretch for you, please find a trusted friend or a mature person in your life who can assist you with working out what's happening and finding a viable solution, taking actionable steps that can help you. Then I would say be intentional about forgiving people. Forgiveness is such a crucial part of living freely and building good character. Because the moment you allow unforgiveness to fester, it turns into resentment, bitterness, and the results are not good. They are not pleasant. You might be unforgiving when it comes to one person, but soon what will happen is that if another person does a similar thing or something even unrelated, it becomes easy for you to hold on to that grudge because after all, you're already holding a grudge with someone else. So learning to forgive people, learning to become a forgiving person is crucial to ensuring that we are not holding on to grudges. We are not allowing negativity to fester in our hearts such that we hold things against people and eventually allow it to shape the conditions of our hearts. Learn to forgive. Whatever anybody has done to you, I don't think it's worth holding the grudge for how long? If you have 100 more years to live, if you have 70, 20, 50 more years to live, are you going to be holding on to that grudge forever or for as long as you live? I don't think it's worth it. Sometimes these people we are angry at and refusing to forgive don't even know what's going on with us. They are out there living their lives and we are sulking and holding on to the grudge and allowing it to have a negative impact on us. Learn to forgive. Do it so much so that it becomes second nature. That when people offend you, you are so quick to forgive them. You are so quick to release it because you know that it is not just for their sake, but it's even more for your own sake, for your mental health and for your physical health. People have gotten heart attacks because of unforgiveness and anger issues. Why do you want to do that to yourself? So start practicing, start learning to forgive people, release the grudge. If you are holding a grudge against anybody, now is the moment. Take your phone, give them a call, send them a text message, whatever works for you. Begin to work it out with them. Because eventually you are the one who's going to be most badly affected if you don't work on it. My third suggestion will be to be mindful of what you say and do when you are angry. It shows a level of maturity. It shows the kind of person that you are. Are you kind? It will show when you are angry. So if you struggle in that area, a good thing will be mindful of what you say and do in those moments or instances when you are angered by something or someone. Like forgiveness is something you'd have to practice. We go through life and unexpectedly people just annoy us or just do things that we are not happy with. So long as we live in a world with people, we are bound to be offended one way or another. But it is up to you to be measured in how you respond to these situations. If someone gets on your nerves, what do you do? Perhaps a good place will be to reflect on how you have responded to annoying situations in the past or situations that have angered you in the past. What were your reactions? Was it out of character for you, or do you think it was something normal? It was a normal reaction that you gave. And then you begin to make intentional decisions. Set rules. When I get angry, I'm not going to speak immediately. If somebody annoys me and I want to give them a piece of my mind, I'll count from 1 to 10. I'll take deep breaths, something to mitigate a reaction so that you are able to gain control of yourself and make a well thought out decision, even if it's in a split second, to say, you know what, probably this thing isn't even worth my time. Or perhaps if I say what I want to say, this relationship is going to collapse. Or if I do what I want to do, the end result will be disastrous, catastrophic, and I might end up regretting it. So decide for yourself. What mechanisms are you going to put in place to check anger so that you are not saying or doing things that are not in line with who you know yourself to be? If you have anger issues, seek help. For some people, deep breaths might work. Counting 1 to 10 or 1 to 20 will work. Restraining yourself from responding immediately, those things can work. But for some people, it might take more than that. So depending on what your level of anger is and the display of it is, you may need to seek professional help to help you handle and manage these anger issues. But that's my third thing. Watch what you say and do in the moments where you're angry. Instead of simply reacting, take your time to give a proper response. If you are in the habit of reacting to things, you are simply giving people and situations power over you to say, hey, yeah, you can do whatever you want and I'll also give you my own energy. Some people, it's a matter of energy for energy. But in all honesty, you might end up picking up a lot of bad energy, which is not good for you in the first place. Just because somebody is acting quote unquote stupidly doesn't mean you should also act stupidly. Just saying. So take time to respond rather than simply react in those moments where you are angry, in those moments where you think you're justified to act. All right. And my fourth and final suggestion will be allow God to help you. A lot of us are shouldering things we shouldn't be shouldering on our own. Remember, Jesus invites us to come unto me, all ye who are labored and heavily laden, and I will give you rest. Don't keep it all to yourself and block everybody out and let pain eat you up and change you and make you somebody even you cannot recognize when you look in the mirror. Bring your burden to Him. He will give you rest. That is my message for you this week. The fact that you are angry with somebody doesn't mean you should be rude to them. It's not an excuse or a license for wickedness or bad behavior. I hope that this has helped you one way or another. Share it with someone who will find value in it. Thank you for joining me. As always, go out there, walk on water, and do great things. I'll see you in the next one.